So this is what happens whenever you attempt to do Pennywise the clown. You end up looking like walking Phoenix and the Joker. So we're just gonna go ahead and say that this is a Joker makeup tutorial. If you would like to see this, if you've been following me on Facebook, then you would know that I said in one of my last posts that I'm doing a little bit of a change to the paranormal mysteries videos. I'm going to do my makeup beforehand and then come in looking all crazy and shit and then tell you the story, and then at the end of the video you will be able to see how I created the makeup look that day. I've been getting a wide variety of different people who are coming in and subscribing to my channel, and I know a lot of people don't want to see the makeup process. There's some people that do want to see the makeup process, and you know, I just trying to even it up the best I can. So before we do this next video, I have a bunch of mirrors that I need to remove from my table in order to tell you guys this story. So I will be right back. Okay, so maybe you have a tiny little guess as to what we are going to be discussing today. So let me see if I can fix my setup here. I'm still kind of working on getting this set up perfectly for you guys, so bear with me. But maybe you guys have figured out by now who we are talking about. So let's just jump right into this story. The woman behind Bloody Mary's story in the childhood game is more sad than she is scary. You play the game by standing in a dark bathroom and the room is lit by one single candle, and you look in the mirror and you chant her name 3 times. Now, sometimes a ghost is said to appear holding a dead baby. At other times, it's also said that she promises to come after yours. Now, while this legend may have been fabricated quite a bit, the woman behind this story was actually real. The origin of the story lies with Queen Mary I, the first Queen of England. The legendary monarch known as Bloody Mary was born February 18th, 1516 in Greenwich, England. She was the only child of King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. So Mary began to feel ashamed of, I guess, basically being a woman whenever she was 17 and her father annulled his marriage to her mother because of the lack of her bearing him a son. And because of this, Mary was forbidden to contact her mom in any way. Now, after all of this, the king would then go on and marry his ex-wife's maid of honor, Anne, and only disappointed King Henry even more by giving birth to another daughter named Elizabeth. Worried that Mary would interfere with Elizabeth's success, Anne pushed for Parliament to declare that Mary was illegitimate and she was successful. But later on, Anne's husband, King Henry, would later behead Anne for treason. But you know, at this point, poor Mary's name had already been damaged too bad. So ever since her teen years, Mary had been plagued with like awful menstrual pains and irregular cycles, which would be attributed to her eventual physical and psychological stress later in life. She was also known to be struck with depressive spells, which would stay with her through her relatively short life. Despite everything stacked against her, Mary did eventually take the throne in 1553 at the age of 37 and promptly married Philip of Spain in the hopes of conceiving an heir. Now, it's here where the origins of this legend begins to take shape. So, be ready for this. Starved for love and forever seeking the approval of her father, Mary would replay this codependent pattern with her new husband, who she was ready to lavish all of her frustrations and emotions on. In no way was Philip ready to reciprocate these feelings, but he did fulfill the duties expected of the marriage. And 2 months later, Mary's wishes came true and she was with child. Despite displaying the usual symptoms of pregnancy, which included swelling of the breast and even a growing stomach, the public remained suspicious of the Queen's pregnancy. It didn't take long for rumors of a false pregnancy to start spreading. Now, in a time where pregnancy tests didn't exist and doctors were not allowed to examine sitting monarchs, only time would tell if these rumors were actually true. Until then, the people of England and Spain would keep tabs on Mary with a watchful eye. So, Mary eventually was taken into a confined room 6 weeks before her due date, which was May 9th, not 100% on the year. And as the time got closer and closer and closer, the due date finally hit, but a baby never arrived. They decided that it was just a miscalculation of days, and they settled on a new one in June, a month later. It wasn't long after this that rumors began to spread once again, some saying that the Queen gave birth to a baby boy, others claiming that she died during childbirth. Others said that her swollen midsection was symptoms of a tumor rather than a pregnancy, which could be. Despite the world around her and the growing gossip, one thing could be confirmed. Around late May, Mary's belly began to shrink. Unable to explain or understand what was going on with her body, she continued to wait as everyone around her lost hope. Now, by late August, Mary finally left the confines of her chamber, childless, and she'd never felt more alone in her life. She believed that God was punishing her for a mission she set out to achieve just months before. At the time of Mary's pregnancy, the people of England were divided between Protestants and Catholics. Mary was determined to unite her people under the true religion of the land. She took action by signing an act shortly before Christmas in 1554 that would result in the Marian prosecution, in which an estimated 240 men and 60 women were sentenced as Protestants and burned at the stake, gaining her name that people to this day chant in the mirror. To this day, the tale of Bloody Mary, Queen of England, remains one of the most infamous cases of supposed phantom pregnancies. Now, if you're not sure what a phantom pregnancy is, a phantom pregnancy is whenever one person sits there and constantly believes so hard and they're so determined to get pregnant that they actually believe that they get pregnant, and so their body is tricked into actually believing that they are pregnant too and will start showing symptoms of a pregnancy. Another possibility in Mary's case could be endometrial hyperplasia, often a precursor to uterine cancer, which can be backed by reports of Mary's low appetite and lifelong history of irregular menstrual cycles. Years later, Mary announced herself pregnant again, although this time even her husband was unconvinced. Assured by the sure signs of pregnancy, she was later confirmed to have entered menopause and again did not deliver a baby. Oh, poor Mary. And sadly, poor Mary died just the next year at the age of 42. They believe that it was either of uterine or ovarian cancer. To this day, her name can still be heard chanted into the mirrors all over the world, all hoping for a terrifying glimpse of the ghost with no understanding of the true story of Bloody Mary. So there you guys go. You learned something else again today. That's what I'm here for. But stay tuned if you want to see how I created this look. It's not very exciting. I was expecting more, but it was my first look of the year, so what can you expect? I'm pretty disappointed in myself. It's alright. But I will say, don't use this crap. It doesn't work. I don't even have it on my face. I have something else. But if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Yeah, to keep up with my page, to keep up with my YouTube, make sure that you go and you like my Facebook page, Beauty and the Haunting. I post all my updates. If you haven't seen me posting videos here lately, it is because of something, and I've posted it on my Facebook page. Until next time, you guys, remember to be you, love yourself, and stay spooky. And I'll see you next time.